So this little session is all about size, and it's really important. We've just come up with a design for our NHS Angels collection that has the NHS logo in it. And actually, when I started drawing it to scale, it was so small, it was going to be really difficult to make. So that's something to think about. And out of that collection, we have also made these angels. And the first thing Heidi said when she saw it was, oh, it's not as big as I thought it was going to be, but I wanted it to be sort of like this.
Pictures, it looked quite big.
It does, well,
yeah.
That's the picture. So size is important, it's really important. These are a good example. So if Heidi wanted to design a round pendant, would she go for something like this? Goes really well with the hoodie, like that. Or would she maybe go with something a little bit daintier, like that? What do you think?
I would go with a small one.
I totally agree. I think it suits you. Whereas I think if I was wearing maybe a dress or a big jumper, something like that would look quite cool.
Yeah.
But because I'm always late for everything and on the school run I'm running down the road, this would really annoy me because it would swing around, whereas that would tuck in nicely. So what we're going to do in this session is practice drawing our circles, because you cannot draw enough circles in jewellery design, and we're going to cut them out and hold them up against us, pretending it's going to be a pendant or a brooch. It's up to you. So I'm going to use, I've nicked your pen. I'm going to use a ruler. You've got one there, Heidi. And if you can make your first circle, the size of this Tree of Life pendant was 4 centimetres. Now we tend to always use millimetres because in jewellery design we're doing things quite small. Working in centimetres and metres isn't really appropriate. So see if you can get used to working in millimetres. And what you can do, if you're doing this by hand, it's absolutely fine. You can do a dot on the 0 on the ruler and a dot on the 4, and then a little faint marker in the middle. So you've got 3 dots like that. I don't know if you can see that. And then you rotate your ruler through 90 degrees and you do the same the other way. And therefore you should have basically a north, south, east and west points. And they could help you draw your circle more accurately to the right sort of size. If you have a compass, you can just measure a radius of 20 millimetres and you will get your circle. So that's my circle. And I do literally do this, sat at this table in my shop with a customer in front of me. I'll be drawing it and they might say, no, not like that, that's too big. Or I'll be going, oh no, I think this is going to be too big for the person that's in front of me. I take things into consideration, their frame. So bigger people who maybe with bigger boobs suit bigger things quite often. But then on the other hand, sometimes with bigger fingers, for example, are quite self-conscious and they want daintier rings. I'm just going to show you this because I think this is important. I don't know, I've got sort of kind of normal size fingers. That's quite a big, chunky ring. And as a comparison, I've got a little small diamond ring next to it. And I think if I'm wearing something quite funky, this is quite cool, but this isn't something I would want to wear every day to work for all occasions. Whereas this is a bit more discreet, it's more comfortable, it's not going to catch on things as much. I'd quite happily wear this all the time. So that's something to think about too. Back to our circles. not bad. I think that bit needs to come out a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Straight.
I'm just going to draw something slightly smaller. And this time I'm not going to measure it, I'm just going to do it by feel and then measure it. That is 28 millimeters. I'm just going to show you doing some guidelines too, because that really helps you remember when you're doing lots of options where you've got to, so you can see I've done some guidelines there.
Dotted lines down from the edges and then two
Yep.
arrows pointing in.
And then you can cut those circles out. I would do at least 2 or 3, cut them out and hold them up and see what you think. You can stand in front of a mirror and it starts to give you a feel for how your piece of jewellery is going to look.